the No Limit Selling Podcast, where mindset meets sales and leadership. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the No Limit Selling Podcast. And today we're going all the way to Germany. This is going to be like a fun conversation because it's different cultures. It's selling the same here and there. And it probably is, to a large part, there's probably distinctions that would work here in Canada or the US and not so much in Germany. So I'm fascinated to have that conversation. And today I have Halkic with me today, and he's got amazing artwork behind him. Harris, welcome to the program.
Thanks a lot, Omar, for inviting me to your show. It's a great honor.
Most excellent. And Harris, you've got a newsletter, Sales Daily, because salespeople need that daily motivation, that boost. How long have you been doing it? And I hear you're at 83,001 subscriber because I just subscribed.
Thank you so much for subscribing. And it's something I started in April last year.
Nice.
And I'm really surprised by the popularity, by how people react to it. And actually it started with this idea of there's so much sales content out there. And I always had the problem of most of it is just too generic. It's not really tactical, actionable. It's not that helpful. I mean, it's not wrong if someone writes somewhere, establish trust, build relationships, but show me how. Show me how to do it.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
And yeah, that's actually the motivation behind it, to find all the small pieces of top performers, of entry-level salespeople who are just doing things and sharing what's working for them and combining that in a newsletter.
So Harris, just for the small price of 412 euros, we will show you the how to do this.
Oh, actually it's free.
I know, but it's kind of funny. So yeah, sometimes people miss, I came across this the other day. It was somebody was saying, their first day of journalism class, the teacher comes up, this is in high school, and the guy says, well, this is what's happening, that on Thursday, the teachers are going to Sacramento, this is in California, to talk to the legislature about, what changes need to be done on the school system. And they're hoping to get these like legislative changes done. What is the headline for this article? And all these high school students are writing down what the headline should be, and all of them get it wrong. And the teacher says, the headline is "No School on Thursday." So you got to be relevant to your audience. If you're not relevant to your audience with actionable advice, then what's the point of doing it? So that's what I love, and that's what I want the show to be, is how do we get something that someone can use, and then they kind of send an email back saying, Harris, thanks so much for sharing that. I closed a sale. Would make me happy, would make you happy, I suspect.
Of course. And also what makes me equally happy is if sales leaders are writing me and saying, I share this with my team, or how can I share this with my team? And yeah,
love it.
Very, fulfilling. Definitely.
So were you a sales guy before this?
I was an account executive in software sales in SaaS at different companies and different stages. Really new startups in Germany, but also more international companies that were actually leaders in their field. So yes, I've spent around 6 years in software sales.
So as you're curating your newsletter, what's a recent piece of advice that either was a reminder or something brand new for you, where you went, oh my God, this is like really cool?
It's a lot of the basics, reminding people of doing, for example, a multi-channel approach and not just relying on either cold calling or just cold emailing. And really this sometimes the small things. Sometimes it's just sharing an opener, cold call opener that has been working for an account executive SDR somewhere in the world, might work for your market or not. And also I enjoy a lot sharing new things on AI, because this is something that I'm very passionate about. I think it will change a lot how we work as sellers, how we structure our day and all the tools that are available. So one thing that I haven't shared it yet. I can share it exclusively on this
Oh, wow.
episode. So
Stop the presses.
so, for example, now you have different tools. I use one tool that's called Merlin AI. It's not kind of I'm not affiliated in any way with them, but I just like the tool that allows you to get a transcript of YouTube videos instantly, basically, and also a summary if you want. And when I did cold outreach, I always wanted to make it somehow relevant and include something from their leadership. So whether it's a quote from the CEO, an initiative, a project, something that is really happening inside the organization. And luckily, we have so many interviews and so many talks with their leaders on YouTube. It's just a lot of time to go through this. And now with AI, you can get a summary of the full transcript in just a second and go to ChatGPT and ask it with specific prompts. Give me their main challenges. What are their current main projects? How they're approaching AI? How are they approaching the challenges in their industry? And then use that as a reference or maybe an opening line in your cold emails, for example, or when you cold call them. And I really like how AI is shortening that cycle, how it's saving you time. This is just one example how I think you could apply it.
So there's a couple of things on what you just said, because ultimately, at the end of the day, AI is a really spectacular tool for screwing up the sales relationship, because people are using it as a crutch. Like, what's the fastest way I can get this done? Just tell me what to say and I'll say it, which has no thought behind it and no strategy behind it. And what you're describing is using AI as that assistant to say, okay, let's find something relevant and something that's going to get this thing open. So if we actually have the right intent, the right strategy, and then using AI is like it's like a catalyst that makes us better, as opposed to a crutch of, because one of the problems salespeople have, Harris, is that we love to equate being busy with being effective. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other thing. Are you
Yes.
making sales? No, but when I'm ready, I'm going to go. It's going to happen. So yeah, I love that. Using AI strategically to actually uh, be a better salesperson.
And yes, what you said is I totally agree. Using AI without your brain is going to do more harm than good. And you should really I heard this somewhere, I don't know where, you should treat it as a highly motivated but very inexperienced intern, someone who's there at your disposal, someone who can
Yes.
help you get stuff done, but you have to give the right commands and you have to look over the output.
Yeah, that's a lot of times when they were talking about getting employees overseas, especially in third world countries, is that they're going to be dedicated, hardworking, and they're going to do exactly what you tell them and
Yes.
not one sentence more. And you have to monitor the work to make sure it's exactly what you want. And I think that's actually a really good metaphor for it, in terms of we're going to nurture this AI to be my most effective assistant. And over time, it'll learn and hopefully be better than Harris, uh,
I
and
hope,
better
yes.
than Umar. And interesting times that we live in. So, have you ever done any sales in North America?
No, no, I haven't.
So, here's the difference between Canada and the US. In the US, they tend to make decisions faster. And the sense I really got was this: it was like, uh, yes, no, goodbye was pretty much a very quick kind of thing. Whereas Canada tends to be more politer in terms of you're not quite sure if you're actually in the running still, or they're just being polite and kind of uh, having that dialogue with you. So in Germany, what's it like there when you're doing sales? Is I described the Canadian one and the US one. How does the German mindset fit in, the business mindset?
Yes. So most of us are selling to free markets that are German speaking. So Germany, Switzerland, Austria,
Yes.
because it's the same language, but still there are cultural differences. And so Germans, they're very direct. So they want just to know what's different about it, what does it cost, and they don't
Bottom line
want
it
to
for me.
waste time on
Yeah.
the kind of yeah, this information side, but they are kind of slow to make a decision. Then they want a lot of certificates, security is a important issue, data protection. While, for example, the Austrians tend to be more uh, um, sometimes more friendly, more relaxed, I would say. And then the
Mm,
Swiss again, they are more what's that kind of professional, more they're quicker to make the decision, but they're very exact, very punctual, and so they want really they want you to be prepared well. These were some differences between the regional kind of differences, but yeah, I think also they're more formal in general. So the German speaking market is more formal. So I heard people using cold call openers, for example, in the US. How have you been? How are you?
yeah.
And in Germany, this will not work. They want you to get to the point while you're calling, what this is about, and have we met or something would be the their
Yeah.
answer to that. And who are you or something?
So in the US, very effective. Well, the best practices are, hi, my name's Umar from No Limit Selling. And the reason I'm calling today is to land an appointment with you. And here's why you should give me 30 seconds of your time to figure out if it makes sense or not. So maybe we're adopting some of the German stuff. It's like, hey, let's get to the point. Don't hide it's a, hey, how are you? How's it going? Is like a time waster for everyone. And a lot of people kind of go like this with their phone. Who is this? And why am I talking to them? But there's a joke here in America, Harris. I'm not sure if you have it in Germany or not, but it's how do you make a salesperson cry? Give them a telephone and tell them they have to make cold calls. Because over here, psychologically, it's actually one of the most traumatic things for salespeople to do. Some people love it and do it really, really well, and a lot of people dread it.
It's the same.
Yeah,
It's the
because it goes
same.
down to human beings, right? Human beings have basic needs, and the need to be liked, shying away from rejection. All that stuff is fundamental that has not changed in tens of thousands of years. And we just happen to be with newer tools, but the same humans uh, coming to the equation.
Yes, and cold calling actually forces you to embrace that rejection or just get a lot of rejection in order to achieve your goals. So yeah, it's natural to, I would say, maybe fear it or just dislike it, but it works. So either you want results or you want to feel good. So,
So one of the people that's going to hell is the person that told salespeople that no, it's that no or that get the hell out of here is one step closer to a yes, as if that's going to help you in some way. It's like, no, it doesn't help anybody. But what's kind of interesting is if you can be authentically who you are, and sometimes people are, like, hey, this is now of no interest to me and goodbye. And then some people get visibly and acoustically upset. And then sometimes just saying, you know, Harris, I see you're upset, but if you kind of look at what I did, I just said hello and you're doing this, like, what's going on? And sometimes if you do that, people are like, it snaps them out of their pattern and they kind of go, oh, I'm on a deadline right now. I've got this thing I need to do for my boss. And that's why I'm kind of like cranky right now. It's like, totally get that. When do you have a few minutes that we could actually have a conversation and it won't get in your way? Tomorrow. Excellent. I'm going to call you tomorrow. What's the best time? Let's calendar it. Never. I've lost so many deals. Call me tomorrow. And it's like, okay, this you're never going to get them. Get the calendared immediately, and it just makes it more real.
yes, this is great advice. Yes, definitely. And just understanding they have a lot on the desk, like everyone has, and yeah, showing the empathy and just asking them what's going on and yeah, trying to have a normal conversation, not trying to just sell directly or pitch them directly, because some of them are getting a lot of cold calls. I mean, cold calling is still popular, and some of them are getting like 10 calls a day. So
So, one of the best times to call someone if you want to get a hold of them, especially if they're an executive, is 5 minutes before the hour. So, 5 minutes before 2 o'clock. And you'd say, why? Because if they've got a meeting at 2 o'clock and it's an important meeting, they're going to be by their desk waiting for that call. And if you call 5 minutes before, they're going to pick it up and go, hello, Harris here. It's like, hey, Harris, this is Umar from No Limit Selling. It's like, damn it, why did I pick this up? But that's actually a good time to make calls, and that so you get people to pick up.
Yeah, you might even say you probably have a meeting at 2 p.m., so I'll keep it short.
Yeah. Well, we got 5 minutes. That's great. That's a lifetime. So why don't we play a game, Harris? You give a tip to our listeners around sales, and it can be basic stuff, because ultimately, at the end of the day, where we go wrong as salespeople, as professional soccer players, is when we lose sight of the basics. And so, why don't you kick us off? Give us a tip that our listeners and viewers can implement. Then I'll do one, and we'll go back and forth till we run out of things to say.
Yes, let's do it. So, one of the things that we've already been talking about, prioritize the phone. For me, the phone is the greatest tool that you have at your disposal. It's the most efficient one for everything, not only external communication, also internally.
Absolutely. If the person you're calling has an admin, make friends with that admin. Know their name. Even if they chase you off the first time, the next time you call up and you say, hey, Janet, it's Umar. And it starts building that relationship. And when you've got that relationship with their admin, they're going to say, Umar, the best time to call is if you do it on a Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. He's going to be there, or she's going to be there at that time. So know the name of the admin and make friends.
Yeah. If you're testing whether it's subject lines that are working for your cold emails or cold call openers, don't try to reinvent the wheel, or don't try to change it with every call. Do 100 repetitions, and then you have enough data to decide, is this worth continuing or not? Because most people just switch too often. As soon as they get a few rejections or no results, they switch to something else.
Way to go, Harris. Like right now, you've won the competition for the best piece of advice so far, okay. Which is something that we do not do. And I'll be guilty of giving up too soon. It's like, well, we did like 12 of them. Let's move on. But you're right. You need to kind of stay with it for 100 till you really get a sense of what you're doing. So here's my tip. Video email is your best friend. Doing a video email where you're actually being relevant to the person you're talking to. For example, hey, Harris, I just came across your Sales Daily newsletter, and I shared that tip with my salespeople, and it rocks. We need to talk. That's something you're going to pay attention to. So video emails are really, really good if you can actually be relevant.
Perfect. Voicemail. I would advise people to leave voicemails because most people just have no idea who you are. They just see a number, and it's not about the callback, but just referencing another touch point that you're having, like send you an email, send you more information, the email, would love to talk, or I send a connection request on LinkedIn, send you a video, just give them the full picture.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. It's like when you leave a voicemail, hi, this is Umar from No Limit Selling, and please call me back. Here's my number, is a totally useless message. But if I went, hey, Harris, it's Umar from No Limit Selling. And the reason I was calling was we're working with a company right now that's just like yours, and we help them double their sales in 90 days. And we use this really simple methodology to do that. Love to share it with you. Give me a call back. And that way you're giving them a reason. I say, oh, wow, I may not want to call him back, but it perks up their interest. And next time they hear No Limit Selling or Umar, they're more inclined to pay attention.
Yes. And you're creating curiosity. It's great.
Definitely. So the last one from you.
One thing, especially for entry level salespeople, maybe SDRs who are a lot on the phone, collect those objections that you're getting, and maybe you can categorize them, but you will soon realize they fall into specific categories. Send me an email, or I'm in a meeting.
The price, too high, all that normal stuff.
Yes, collect them, and then you can systematically prepare your answers. You can have 2 or 3 variations. And as you collect your personal playbook, in the beginning, maybe you'll have to look at it, you have to prepare, you can also rehearse them. But as you become more experienced, they will just become part of you. And I think it has helped me a lot in the beginning. So
Brilliant. And I think just adding on to that is there's technologies out there right now that actually record all the calls that are going on by salespeople. And that data that you collect, like sometimes it could be Harris in his office handles an objection in such an elegant way that it becomes a standard operating procedure for all the salespeople in the organization. And I think because there's genius among us, and sometimes we accidentally say something amazing, and then we like, you've been with a friend where you're just sharing ideas, and then it's like, Harris, what was that idea? And you're like, I forgot. And that's such a tragic thing. So record the calls and share those recordings and those insights with the entire sales team to make everybody better.
great advice. Yes.
All right, Harris, what is a good sales book that you would recommend?
Well, that's really a difficult question because I'm doing a lot of posts on LinkedIn where I share my favorite books, sales books, and there are hundreds of them. And people always ask me, what are the top 10? What's the one that I should read? And the answer is always, I don't know, because I don't know your situation. It depends. Are you in enterprise sales? Are you just beginning? Is this your first year in sales? Do you want to become a manager? Yeah, so of course there are the classics. I think you should have read them, like Fanatical Prospecting. Yeah,
That would be my number one book. Fanatical Prospecting
yeah.
is a good, solid choice. Well, Harris, we're going to put the link to your newsletter so people can subscribe to it with this podcast. Is there anything else you want to share before we part company today?
Um, yes, one thing. Because you asked about the book, I think the greatest book is the one that you create for yourself. So if you're really tracking what's working, what's not working for yourself, if you have this notepad beside you, and after each call or after each demo, you make a few notes and you collect those learnings for yourself and also the failures. You will have a resource after 1 year that's just unique, and you will have learned so much, and you can always go back and look at similar situations. And I think that's actually the most valuable book that you can have, and what you can create your own learning journal.
Crikey, Harris, you're smarter than you look. That was like totally genius. No,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for being on the show. This was insightful. It was quick. It was actionable, and a couple of the pieces of advice that you gave. I mean, like that last one is totally genius in terms of we're here to get better as human beings, and most of us don't achieve what we are capable of because we don't take enough notes in the moment. And recording those things as they happen can save you in so many ways. Uh, a lot of heartache and relearning is like, oh my God, yeah, I came up with that 4 years ago and I've been struggling for 4 years. So write it down. Your book is the best book. And I'll just add to that is that you are the hero of your own movie. And you get to decide what you do. And one of the ways to be a better hero is to subscribe to Sales Daily.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for inviting me to the show. It was a lot of fun.
Me too. I really enjoyed it. Looking for our next conversation. I'm going to stop the recording here and then we'll chat for a few minutes afterwards.